So first thing first, before I jump into the content, please try that like button, and for those individuals watching for the first time, come on guys, hit that subscribe button and the bell. So on my yesterday's video, we talked about this Ethereum price action which was forming a so-called Adam and Eve chart pattern. Adam and Eve chart pattern is usually a bullish continuation pattern, and in our case, since the price has started to show this bullishness after breaking the resistance line or the neckline, now even in the medium short term, if the price of Ethereum does show any sort of a weakness, what are we expecting? This previous temporary resistance line to act as a support around 2000, and after that we are expecting this price to continue uptrend around 2900, even up to 3000 price range. So in the medium short term, if the price of Ethereum does show any sort of a weakness, this previous temporary resistance line around 2000 is going to be acting as a support. And even in a daily time frame, things are still looking bullish. Even if we do see any sort of a weakness in the medium short term, I have said it could be just a temporary pullback, right, before continue like this. Yes, because the price opportunity from this broadening top or ascending broadening wedge is around 2200. We only managed to come across 2100, 2150 range. So this price opportunity is still open, and I'm actually expecting the price of Ethereum might be heading towards this key range before choosing a trend direction for the medium short term. And why? Because if we look at this price structure here around this area in a bit different way, guys, let me show you with this hourly time frame. Because in an hourly time frame, the price of Ethereum is forming so-called a bullish pennant. Bullish pennant usually makes a move like this. You can see the example here. First we form a pennant or so-called a flag type of formation, and once the price breaks this resistance line and flips into support, then we could be showing this new uptrend, just like as shown here in an example. But in the medium short term, let's suppose if the price of Ethereum fails to continue this uptrend and even fails to hold the support from this symmetrical triangle pennant, bullish pennant, then I am actually expecting the price of Ethereum to show some range bound before again continuing this uptrend, because we know any sort of a pullback, we have one of the strongest support around 2000 for Ethereum, and as long as we remain above that range, any sort of a shakeout in the medium short term should not be looked as a bigger trade. Now let's look at Bitcoin price action, because Bitcoin here in a weekly time frame is flashing a very interesting scenario. Those who watched my video from yesterday, you guys know we found out the price in the past price action after some bigger corrective movement. Whenever it has started with this impulsiveness, the impulsiveness ended when we got attracted towards this 100% Fibonacci extension line and also the resistance from this descending channel. And what happened after that? The price started showing weakness, right? And now if you look in our case, a very similar scenario is unfolding. This Fibonacci extension line, the 100% Fibonacci extension line, is exactly where we are, just like here from the past price action, and the upper resistance from the descending channel is also exactly around that area. So in a weekly time frame, if the price fails to find support above 30,500, or let's say hold the support around 30,000, then we have to be careful, guys, because in that case the price could be exhausted and also could be slowly showing a sign of reversal here in this manner. I'm not expecting a bearish move like this to play out, because we know in the medium short term 28,000 is a very strong support, and in a bigger picture 25,000 is a very strong support. And as long as we remain above that range, we are not going to worry that much, because we know, guys, the price could be bearish. Yes, in the medium short term it could look bearish, because this here is also a bearish continuation pattern known as rising wedge. But I have been very clear, in the medium short term, if we do break the support from this rising wedge around 29 to 28,000 and start showing bearishness, I have been very clear, 25,000, right? 25,000 could be the line where we're getting attracted, but I am actually expecting consolidation and even another impulsive movement like this to play out here in price action of Bitcoin. Yes, even if the price does show any sort of a weakness, any sort of a retracement here to the downside, 28,000, 25,000 range, I am not going to worry that much, because we know this could be just a temporary pullback, price retest the previous temporary raise line before turning it into support, before starting a new impulsive movement. Because we know if the price in the medium short term does shows any sort of a weakness, even a bigger retracement, it could still favor the longs. Why? Because a pullback around the neckline or this green line around 25,000 could be the retest from this previous temporary raise line, according to the Stan Weinstein idle buy for investor. Yes guys, this idle buy for investor chart is also clearly pointing us in a bigger picture. If the price does show any sort of weakness, it could be just a retest of this previous temporary raise line before starting with this new impulsive movement here like this. And now, even in a daily time frame, if we look at this falling trendline breakout scenario for Bitcoin, just like as shown in example, the price has already broken the key line of resistance, and if this trend is going to continue further, even after some shakeout, we know this previous temporary raise line around 25,000 is going to be one very important line of support, and then price could still show a move here in this manner. And if that happens, then parallelly this ideal buy for investor is also going to play out perfectly. And now guys, in a smaller time frame, I mean in a 4-hour time frame, we can clearly see the price is following this S&E channel. This S&E channel upper line is acting as a strong line of resistance, right? You can see strong line of resistance, lower line acting as a strong line of support. So what I'm trying to pinpoint here is that in the medium short term, if the price does get exhausted, right, and start showing some move here to the downside, I have been very clear, the upper trend line could be retested first before it chooses a trend direction. So in the medium short term, if we do see some sort of a weakness, I'm still expecting the price to show this final move around 31,900 to 32,000 range before deciding the trend direction. So let's also follow this S&E channel in the medium short term, because any sort of a retracement, this exact line is going to be acting as additional support around 29,000 for Bitcoin. And we know guys, if we look at this price structure exactly around this area in a bit different way, you can see another interesting scenario is unfolding for Bitcoin. Now, before I start talking about this very interesting scenario which could be unfolding right now for Bitcoin, please destroy that like button if you haven't done it yet, and for those individuals watching it the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. And also for those individuals who are still unaware about my crypto on VIP group, the link is in the description down below. It is free guys, it is completely free, so the link is in the description down below. Feel free to check it out. Now if we look at this price structure of Bitcoin in an hourly time frame, first let me show you, I mean the price of Bitcoin, if you look at this carefully, is clearly showing this one bullish scenario, descending triangle. Yes, descending triangle usually indicates both, right, depending on the line where it breaks. I mean if this upper line gets broken, we are looking at a very similar scenario like this to play out, some range bound and slowly getting attracted towards this previous high. But if the support fails after some range bound, if the support around this 30,000 in the medium short term in hourly time frame fails, then even though this chart does shows a bullish movement, it could still show a reversal, price making a very similar movement like this, more of a bat pattern. But for now, let's forget that, because the price is still above 30,000 range. And even if we do see any sort of a shakeout, we know this rising trend line could be acting as a strong line of support for Bitcoin. Yes, but if we fail, I mean if the price fails to hold the support around this 30,000, we have to be careful, because parallelly guys, the price could be also forming head and shoulder type of formation. It might not look perfect, but I think it's still important for you guys to understand what I'm trying to pinpoint here. If the price in the medium short term does shows further weakness, does breaks the neckline around 30,000 range, then we have to be careful, because this could still be playing out as head and shoulder type of scenario, where the price could be getting attracted towards this 29 to 28,000 support line, right, before again showing some range bound, because we know around that area 29,000, 28,000 we have some strong line of support lining for Bitcoin. So let's hope the price in the medium short term remains of 30,000 for Bitcoin, and remaining above that range means we could be slowly preparing ourselves for this a very similar looking type of movement
like this ascending triangle breakout and price heading towards the previous high, which is around 30,970 or even 31,000 range. But for Ethereum, 2000 is one of the most important support line, and as long as you remain above 2000, any sort of a shakeout should not bother us that much. So these were some of the quick update that I wanted to share with you in today's video. If you enjoyed my work, then please destroy that like button, and for those individuals watching for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Now by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye.